Hello everyone, and welcome to the IdeaHub Tour. I am Edwin Diender, I'm Chief Digital Transformation Officer in our Enterprise Business Group. And yes, you've already seen me in the IdeaHub introduction and unboxing videos. And yes, I am a big fan of the IdeaHub family of products. But today, I want to talk to you about a story that goes a little bit beyond the product. And I have the honor of having invited a heavyweight guest and also a very old friend of mine, the Vice President of Intelligent Vision and Collaboration Sales, Panyong. Pleasure to see you again.
Me too, nice to meet you here.
Likewise, how's it going?
Actually, everything is great, especially for the amazing product IdeaHub. I have a lot of story to share today.
Well, I'm very excited to hear that, and I'm excited you're here because we have so many things to share. What do you have to share and how are you going to share it?
Yeah, everything I bring it in this phone. And first, I will link this phone to this IdeaHub. We just use the breakdown bar and use the wireless projection button and select the right IdeaHub. Then you see my screen.
And here is your screen.
Yes, shift to the big IdeaHub screen. And I can turn
And what
to
am I
this
looking
way.
at?
Yeah.
I remember this from the unboxing.
Great.
Flipping the screen from regular screen to full screen. What am I looking at?
Yeah, this actually is IdeaHub won the IF Design Award. You can see IdeaHub design is very simple and elegant in everything you can think of.
For sure, for sure. You know, good design is not only beautiful, but it's also very practical. But if I remember correctly, the IdeaHub board also won, and not just the board, but the whole family of products, a Red Dot Design Award, but also an industry collaboration award from a market research organization. That is amazing.
Definitely. The winner is not the purpose for us. However, it shows that we really care about user experience, and that awards are the market proof of that. One thing I would like to mention is the backset of the IdeaHub, which is extremely artistic but also practical. We have seen many competitors' products which look neat in front side, but really very messy at the back, with lots of wires and cables hanging and screws still out. I'm very sorry for that.
Well, I can imagine those. You know, we all remember that. Maybe even you have some of these systems in your office right now with cables hanging out and screws sticking out. What I really think is very great is that the way we look at user experience is not just from the front and in the way to use it, but also at the back and in hiding things that just don't need to be in the visual of
Sure.
people to see, for sure. So I am very amazed by it.
Anyway, how do you think the IdeaHub? Last time we shared that to you and put that in your office.
I cannot find enough words to thank you for letting me use it. Really, once I got it, I put it in my office. I immediately put it into production. I started using it. It really saves me a lot of hassle, really.
That's pleasure.
Yeah, and it's not just for me. I can tell you, it's also for colleagues, staff, other departments that are coming in. I almost feel like a librarian, almost in a library that has to keep track with a list. Who has my books? Where are my books? In my case, I got a list of who took my IdeaHub. Where is my IdeaHub? Where is my IdeaHub?
Great. Sure, I got your point. As you said, the product has brought a lot of change to us. In fact, the product is not only used by us and our company, it's also used in many meeting rooms, remote office, training center, and classrooms, and also open office area. You name it. I think the scenarios for this IdeaHub is nameless.
I would actually say so too. Maybe it's a good idea that we share some data and some details with our audience. For example, on our own internal organization. Just like everyone else in the world, also we as a company were of course affected and impacted by the pandemic when it kicked in. We employ more than 200,000 employees in more than 1,000 offices in more than 170 countries all over the world. And yes, like everyone else, we were also affected by the pandemic. Our offices in almost every country, of course, were closed, which means we were forced to work from home and that sort of things. But at some point, really, we could, of course, in some countries, return back to office. On the first day back to work, we have more than half of our employees still working from home. On the first day back in the office, around 40,000 meetings were held to ensure working efficiency and communication.
Unbelievable.
That is a tremendous amount of sessions on an internal network. But maybe also a third of our global workforce works in R&D
True.
and in innovation. This is coding work. You know,
True,
for
true.
this you need to be at the office because you're programming and these kind of things. Not what we did. We used our internal network with virtual desktop and virtual desktop cloud and what have you to safely and remotely access, to allow our R&D employees to remotely access their R&D environment and even have them work from home where they could easily code and work anytime, anywhere on any device. And currently, maybe in closing of this particular part, we are now in the process of almost having completely transformed and transposed from what we had, which were analog or very basic audio and video conferencing systems, or whiteboarding and flip overs and flip charts and what have you, to put that out of our offices and completely move into the family of products of, and the benefits predominantly of what IdeaHub and IdeaHub Board is bringing to us as an organization.
I fully agree. Let's look at the second picture. Now this is my office. I want to share with you. In this right side, we use this IdeaHub for the remote conference, for the interview, for those relevant meetings. And for the left side, there are lots of companies, they are also interested in IdeaHub. So we use IdeaHub to remote demonstrate the IdeaHub. In summary, the IdeaHub is far more powerful than traditional way of meeting. Use project, flip chart, and whiteboards.
Though I can fully relate to what you're saying. It's exactly as Panya says. And also I use the IdeaHub in so many different ways, whether it is my department meetings or sessions with country teams and rep offices or providing remote trainings to our partners and our channels. IdeaHub is really very powerful. But right now we're talking maybe a bit too much internal and about the product, but how about market and global market? How is this product doing in the global market right now?
Very good question. In fact, IdeaHub have been favored and selected by many customers around the world, including Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, Russia and China. In the context of the epidemic, remote communication and cooperation are key to teamwork among enterprises in all industries. In terms of industry distribution, customers in all industries basically need IdeaHubs. Here, let me share you one or two particular stories.
Oh, not just for me. I think our audience would also very much like to hear some cases.